KnifeDope. More dope. Come and get your fix. What's up, fuckers? Your boy is back with a fresh batch of dope. KnifeDope. That's right, people. The hits don't stop. Let me first start out by saying big shout out and thank you to today's video sponsor. The two knives we're taking a quick look at today were sent to me by none other than friend of the channel and one of my personal knife bros, Mr. Tommy motherfucking Mac. Now the Mac is so old school that unfortunately I can't tag any of his socials or anything like that because he is an international man of mystery. But the Mac sent me this knife here at request. This, of course, is the USA-made, Doug Ritter designed RSK, OEM by Hogue Knives. Now, I had never had the opportunity to try this out. A lot of people say that this is actually the inspiration for the Benchmade Griptilian. But I will tell you, I far am impressed with this knife. Now, the Mac actually sent me this down also for a couple of other things. The action on this knife was very sloppy with the factory Omega springs. So I went ahead and replaced those American-made Omega springs with a nice set of Chinese OEM Omega springs. And nobody's going to know the difference except for the action is a lot better now. Now, if you're not familiar with Mr. Doug Ritter, you better learn. He is the man solely responsible for the knife rights movement. He has made it his life mission to get some of these archaic laws in our country, changed. So you got to support him. I do believe that every purchase of this model, there is a small contribution from each of the knives that goes towards that fight. But beyond that, the knife itself, I really dig it, especially now that this has these wonderfully done contoured aluminum scales, courtesy of Original Goat. Don't forget that you can use code FUCKER and save yourself 15% on the entire website. Now, the Mac also sent me this new offering coming to us from Golden Design Works. And so without further ado, let's get to the dope. All right, now Golden Design Works is a company that I've known about since their inception for the most part. Never had tried any of their knives until, this week actually. I was able to try their caliper, which I was very impressed with. This is their newest offering. This one dropped, I'd say, maybe a couple of weeks ago at most. This one is the Golden Design Works Nugget. Now, I was fully aware of this knife dropping, and based on the specs, it seemed like something that I was very interested in, but the price did seem a little high, and we're going to address that here momentarily. It does come with a COA of sorts and a nice brand new soldier rag, but let's get to the nugget. There were essentially a couple of different variants to choose from. This one is the less expensive option of the two models. This one came in at $199, OEM by Bestech, which is hands down one of the best OEMs, best Chinese OEMs in the game currently. A couple of forms of deployment. We've got some wonderfully done, custom domed set of robust tits. Also got a very shaman-esque front flipper. Let's go ahead and check it out. Woo! Detent is dialed the fuck in. 6.75 inches as far as overall length. We've got 2.94 in what I'm calling this modified sheep's foot apparatus. If that blade shape triggers you, you can call it a reverse tonto if you like. Flat saber grind. We've got CPM 154 for the steel, which seems to be the biggest issue a lot of y'all have out there with the pricing. Titanium scales. We've got beautiful vertical milling lines on both sides of the handle. Also had that same custom dome pivot there. Now the scales and all the hardware, pocket clip, as well as tits, have been glass blasted. The tits, pocket clip, hardware, and backspacer have also been anoded after that. As far as ergonomically goes though, I've got no issues at all. I can get a full purchase all day. Nested liner lock is the locking mechanism, which I've actually really started to love these things. A good nested liner lock is probably one of my favorites outside of the finger safe locking mechanisms. Now, the pocket clip is also sculpted, and it's kind of in a weird place. Wasn't sure how I was going to like it. You can see it's not centered, it's to the edge of the handle, but it functions fantastically. Blind mounted pocket clip at that. Now let's talk about the blade geometry. We've got 118 thousandths blade stock thickness, 15 thousandths behind the edge thickness. Take those numbers and add them up, and what do you get? You guessed it, a slicey hoe. 3.4 ounces is the weight on this thing. Now they are running their CPM 154 CM at 60 to 62 HRC. And as you may be aware, recently it's been confirmed, Best Tech has been hitting the mark on their HRC. So that's always a plus. Now let's talk about the pricing. Like I mentioned, a lot of people, including myself, felt the price was a little high. You know, $199, you're getting CPM 154 CM, which is not to be confused with 154 CM. This is actually crucible steel. But, you know, the gentleman at Golden Design Works, brand new company, just trying to make it. They are using Best Tech as the OEM, which if you don't know, is very, very highly priced. They're kind of known as one of the most expensive Chinese OEMs. But man, when their products, they kind of, you know, make that a valid issue. T8 hardware all the way around, so there's that. But, you know, being a brand new company, being that he's OEMing, having someone else make the knives for him, I can kind of understand why he's having to charge a little bit more. I do believe that the caliper, which was the last model prior to this, was a pre-order. This time around, he didn't do a pre-order. I believe these were, you know, available upon the drop. As the filming of this video, they still had this version in stock. We've got the blade steel branding there, right in the tang of the blade. Love when companies do that. No issues there. Overall, solid knife. Yeah, the price isn't my favorite, but goddamn, it is a good knife. Now let's go ahead and put some knives up for some size comparison. Basically, a little bit of knife flexing. You know how the fuck we do. Gotta roll with America first. We're gonna roll like this. The River's Edge Cutlery exclusive Spyderco Shaman. So here you see how I mentioned the very similar front flipper apparatus. So let's put that up there. More American dope for your pilot. How about the Baby Shaman? Your pallet, your goddamn pallet. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. So there we see the nugget up against those. Let's do a couple more, shall we? How about some Chinese dope? I know you fuckers love it. We're gonna go with the Kunwu Compadre. Say it with me, y'all. Compadre. Then one of my favorite Kaisers all time, and that's going to be the Mini October. So here we see the nugget up against those. Let's do two more. God damn it, two more. More Chinese dope. One of my favorite knives last year. As a matter of fact, my knife of the year for 2023 for that price point. And that is the Wee Hyphen. And then last but certainly not least, one of my favorite Chinese knives this year. And that is the Reich, the Microtech SOCOM Bravo Mini. OEM by Reich, of course. And so there's the nugget up against those. Yeah, you know, Golden Design Works has been impressing me, man. I really like what they're doing. I like their knife designs. And hopefully at some point they can start working on that pricing. Or maybe not, you know, maybe he feels he's justified in the pricing. Really ain't no telling at this point. But another solid offering from this company. They have got my attention. Best Tech also just quite possibly might be the early candidate for OEM of the year. Just saying. But more importantly, I want to know what you fuckers think. Do you feel the nugget's overpriced? Did you get it? Tell me all about it. Love you, mean it. Until the next time. Cut something, cut someone. Just don't cut yourself. Stay dangerous, fuckers.